Patrick, and we are live. It's where we come to talk about physical and financial fitness in my little garage gym while we get our workout in. And I actually have a special guest today. My wife is doing the Peloton this morning. What do you know? She got out of bed, even though in San Diego it's still dark out right now when we're getting up. But she got a little couples workout going on this morning. So, anyways, good morning. How are you? Who do we have on here so far? Looks like Andy's on. Andy, welcome. Welcome, Andy, if that's still you, if you're on. I see you said morning all in the comments. Hey, Andy, I have a question. Can you hear me okay? Is my Bluetooth little speaker thing working okay? You tell me. But what we're going to do... Oh, okay, cool. What we're going to do today, Andy, and it might be a good subject, depends on who we get to show up here today. But it might be a good subject we can talk about, I figured, because the subject continuously, no matter what, as I talk about cryptocurrency sometimes, and we talk about the stock market, and we talk about IRAs and 401ks, and I've been talking to people in my Saturday morning golf group that have known me forever but didn't really know what I do. And it all comes back to cash flow. So I figured that would be a good subject to speak of. I think Dexter keeps popping in and out. But I was figuring we could talk about cash flow and mortgage notes and maybe the Note Investor University, because it always comes back to cash flow, man. I talk to people about all these different types of investments. And the bottom line is it always comes back to cash flow that creates the financial freedom. And so many other endeavors people are going after. Oh, you're here and you're in town? Okay, cool, Dexter. I don't know why it's allowing Dexter to comment, but it only says I have one participant in as a viewer. So that's odd. Yeah, so, hey, Dexter, good to see you, buddy. So you're in town. He's back from Vegas. So that's a good thing, man. Good to see you. We'll have to get together, Dex. Oh, and I have a golf tournament this weekend. It's a 2-day tournament, Saturday and Sunday. So I'm not going to be doing many curls or biceps and anything like that later in the week. So I figured that's what we'll knock out today. So today we're going to do back, shoulders, biceps, and talk about cash flow, the Note Investor University, and hopefully I can get some guys on here. Dude, I walked 36 holes this weekend, Dex. I walked on Saturday and I walked on Sunday of this past weekend. And my right knee is just now losing the swelling. My right knee is just now losing the swelling after the 2 days of walking golf. So I won't be doing leg day just yet. My doctor that did my surgery on my leg to replace my ACL and try to fix my cartilage, which I have none of, on the bottom of my femur bone, he said, you shouldn't do any type of impact exercises. I would not recommend walking, golf, playing pickleball, tennis, bouncing on trampolines, jumping rope, or any of that kind of stuff. So I would try to not do any impact exercises on that right leg. He said, if you need to get any leg exercises, ride a stationary bike or something like that. He said nothing pushing down and straightening my legs and nothing like that. So I'm not even supposed to do anything like that, but yet... you know what's up. I'm still walking 18 holes of golf, and I'm still bouncing trampoline and jumping rope and all those things. But I will regret it when I'm not that old. I will need a knee replacement. So I won't be doing leg day today. My knee is pretty thrashed. I had all my cartilage taken out of my right knee, soccer injury when I was young. Yeah, Yep. And it's not even about it's not even about like loose floating cartilage or anything like that that could be taken out. It's literally the bottom of my femur bone where it comes and connects to my knee. The bottom of my femur has no cartilage on it. So it's bone to bone usually. So I won't be doing leg day today. Let's just put it that way. All right. But what we will do is we'll do some backs and some biceps is what we're gonna get going on. I almost didn't make it. My wife had to wake me up because the alarm went off and I got up and then I fell back asleep somehow because we went to bed kind of late last night. So that's one pointer we can knock out, huh? One good point of the matter is if we want to be energetic and wake up in the morning and be able to do a good workout, you probably don't want to stay up too late on accident like I did last night. And really doing nothing. We were talking business and talking about social media and talking stuff. And we had put that movie Kingpin on. Have you ever seen that movie Kingpin? It's so funny. Kingpin just cracks me up, man. When he goes and he changes they had the largest horse in the country. The largest horse in the country is that big Clydesdale, and they told him to go change the horse's shoes, and he comes out with the whole hoof cut off. Have you guys see that movie? It's a crack up. My God. Kingpin about the bowling movie with Woody Harrelson. So funny, dude. So yeah, we're gonna do some backs and some biceps, and I figured we talk some cash flow. Be a good time, Dexter, if you have any buddies that you've talked to about note investing, to send them this invite and see if we can get some people on here that are going to be curious, right? It'd be fun to have a Q&A, people that are curious about what the hell we do in notes. It's always the fun subject that everything comes back to, no matter what. Every time I'm talking to somebody, I was talking to a really good golfer friend of mine when we were playing on Sunday morning. And we were walking and talking, and he's like, what do you exactly do again? And I started telling him about notes and oh, look, Dexter, who came out to work out this morning on the elliptical, or not the elliptical, on the what do we call those things? The bike. Oh, Peloton, that's right. So we got the wifey on the Peloton this morning. We're going to talk cash flow and mortgage notes because the reason I wanted to talk about that is because the subject always goes back there. So no matter whether I'm talking about cryptocurrencies or IRA investing, retirement accounts, stock markets, oh God, CDs and annuities and so on and so on and so on. Whenever I'm talking about those things to people, the conversation always comes back to cash flow. It's quite wild. And it seems that no matter what age or no matter how savvy the investor or the individual, it always does come back to one thing continuously, and that is that what we do in buying mortgage contracts and what we do in the mortgage note buying space is bar none one of the best investment vehicles that I've ever seen. It's just one of the best investment vehicles I've ever seen. And when we get into a conversation with extraordinarily intelligent individuals, people that have done very well for themselves, doctors, dentists, we're talking real savvy, accredited investors, other real estate professionals and entrepreneurs in the space, they just sometimes have no idea that you can buy someone's mortgage. It's kind of wild. Yeah, thanks a lot, Andy. I appreciate that. My webinar on Thursdays. Yeah, and the webinar on Thursdays is where we actually go over some case studies, and I show you guys, actual note investments from my portfolio. So we break down the numbers, and you can see visually and those kinds of things. So that always helps when you can. See everything and see the numbers and stuff like that. It's kind of difficult sometimes to explain an actual note investment case study on this live because I'm spouting numbers out and people don't have notes to write them down or anything like that. So warm-up set just to get the elbows going. We got a lift today, though. I've been kind of going against my lifting goals and more so paying attention to my viewers on the live and trying to give good content and good nuggets and those kinds of things. But it's an open Q&A on note investing today, an open Q&A on passive cash flow, the theories of using other people's money, how to do that, performing, non-performing notes, basically whatever it may be. So I know that you guys can come packed with some questions. I know that you guys like to get me going. So that's going to be the topic of discussion today. And I didn't really want to start leading down a subject and just blabbing. I really wanted you guys to be able to participate this morning. I really do better in these shows when I'm getting a lot of participation from the audience, and it allows me to continue going with my ideas and things like that. And also, too, there's some things where I can get blabbing down a certain path, and you guys may be thinking, I wish he wasn't talking about that so much. I wish he would talk about something else. So you might be able to jazz me up there in the comments today, and we can go over some intricacies of note investing. We can go over why cash flow is way more important than lump sums of cash, in my opinion. Any of those kinds of theories we can go over. So if you guys have questions about passive cash flow, if you have questions about collecting passive cash flow from real estate all over the country without owning real estate, then you guys can ask away. So we're going to do some back and some biceps. I'm actually going to get going and actually do a workout. And so it's going to be important that you guys feel free to participate this morning. It is a live Q&A. It is designed for me not to be a talking head, but for you guys to ask questions. So questions about cash flow, questions about financial freedom, questions about leveraging OPM, these kinds of questions. Hi, honey. She just got done with her Peloton. So yeah, let's talk cash flow, let's talk financial freedom, and let's talk why mortgage notes are possibly one of the best investment vehicles that's ever existed. I went to lunch recently, so that you get it, right? I went to lunch recently with a gentleman who is extraordinarily experienced in real estate investing, to the point of lives in a mini mansion and has a Lamborghini and all this other fancy stuff. And I'm like, he's a very impressive individual. And so I wanted to go meet him for lunch, and we did. We met, and then he was amazed, right, again, at what it is that I do, even though, of course, he's at a higher level, and I was amazed at what he does. But he understood creative finance. So a lot of real estate investors are starting to come around, slowly but surely, as the information bleeds out into the universe. These real estate investors are starting to realize that being a landlord is not all chalked up to what it's, said to be. Right? A lot of people get into real estate and think that being a landlord is going to be an amazing experience, and it's going to make their life free and happy, and they're going to be able to relax and collect a bunch of money, right? Because if you own real estate, that's how people get rich. Well, a lot of people find out it's not all rainbows and butterflies, right? So Andy said, what amount do you need to enter note investing? Very little. Very little, Andy. I think that people don't need a lot of money to get started. I mean, of course, when I got started, I bought books. I bought a few books because I wanted to read up on note investing and get my expertise up to a level. So I bought some books, and then I had to make a huge sacrifice for me to get with my mentor and start training on this stuff. I didn't just spend any money to get coaching or anything like that. I sold my house, moved my family, rented an office, and did all this other stuff to be able to get my mentor in a room with me all day so that I could actually learn straight from my mentor and take notes. And I had a yellow pad and a pen and all that. I did it kind of the hard way. But, that cost me some money is what I'm saying. It cost me some money to be able to do all that. So I guess in general, when people say, hey, you can get into this real estate investing endeavor, even if you're broke and you have nothing, you don't need no money. Well, that's always kind of a fallacy. I mean, they may be saying that you can leverage other people's money to get into a real estate deal, but you got to be a supreme expert, at least not by way of experience. Fair enough. But you got to be a real extreme expert by way of expertise in something, whether it be house flipping, notes, syndication, whatever it is you're going to do in the real estate investing world. You must know that your expertise is number one, first and foremost, and it's going to cost some money and some time to get that expertise. So I always say, like some people say, some real estate gurus, right? You could be completely broke. You could have zero. I started from zero, blah, blah, blah. Well, all that is kind of hogwash because you do have to have some money to be able to operate. But as far as Andy's asking, You would just need enough money to get yourself the expertise you're looking for. And I don't, know how fast or slow people want to do that, or what books you are willing to read, or what mentor you're willing to pay, or whatever it may be. But you really have to up your expertise to a certain level. That's the number one. And it's going to cost some time and some money. I always tell people that it ain't all free. Um, but then actually when you get involved and you have a high level of expertise, Andy, a lot of people realize that it's not necessarily the amount of money that you have at your behest to make the investments. Once you have the expertise, it becomes, or shall I say, once you have the expertise and you know what you're doing in a certain asset class, then you become valuable to people that have lots of money to invest. So you can leverage other people's money. And we don't teach this a lot in my community, Andy, but we forget that, people teach business credit and people teach all sorts of different ways that are clever to be able to use other people's money. And it doesn't have to necessarily be your neighbor, but when we say other people's money, it's just money aside from your own. So that could be a bank, a lending institution, a private lender, an investor, somebody with an individual retirement account, whatever that may be. That is leveraging other people's money to get your deals done. And I say that is one of the smartest things somebody can learn. And also learning that wealthy people that actually do have the money, and I mean like a billionaire. A lot of times these folks, when they do these great endeavors like build a skyscraper, a golf course, a community, whatever it may be, a hospital, whatever, a skyscraper and all this, they don't use their own money, even though they have enough of their own money, but they don't use it. So, how does note investing help me? Andy, how does note investing help, or excuse me, is that what it says? Oh, how does Note Investor University help you? Note Investor University is a school where we teach how to invest in the paper side of real estate versus the physical side of real estate. So as you would go to someone's real estate investing school that would maybe teach you how to be a pro house flipper, or teach you how to be invest in land, or whatever it may be, we have a specialty where we teach people how to buy the real estate paper, not the property. So that's hence the title of the show today, which is, a live Q&A on how we can discuss and bounce back and forth on why it may be better, guys. In my opinion, and a lot of people's opinions, and a lot of experienced real estate studs are starting to come around, that maybe there's something even better than property ownership if you want to collect cash flow from real estate. How did the relationship between me and my mentor begin? Well, that's an odd one. I'll tell you what happened, Rod, is that I started back in 2015. Let's see. Yeah, back in 2015. I started dating his daughter. Yeah, and that could go that could go a few different ways, man. Right? Generally, I don't know if you guys have daughters, but I'm assuming that the relationship between who your daughter's dating and you is not always sparky right off the bat. You know, but we hit it off. Oh, Bethany's on. She's saying hi. Or clapping. I can't tell what that is. But anyway, hi, Bethany. She's on. But yeah, I started dating Bethany. I started dating my mentor's daughter. Odd one, I know. But so I started dating Bethany in 2015, and I did not get into the note space until late 2018. So there had been a good 3 years or so when I had been conversing back and forth about this stuff. And guys, you remember I was still working a full-time job. So I had my, 50-hour-a-week sales manager job, working Monday through Saturday, driving through traffic, showing up at the sales meetings in the mornings and doing the whole 9 to 5 or, 9 to 9 kind of a job. And I was real stuck in there. And I'll tell you this, one of the questions that was posed to me, and I'm going to throw some weight stack on here and get cracking. Yeah, I worked a lot. Yes, I worked a lot, right? Yeah, Bethany's saying I worked a lot because I wasn't on the 40-hour-a-week plan. I literally left the house at 8:30 in the morning and sometimes didn't get home till 9:30 at night, and I was working Monday through Saturday, and I was responsible for, say, 20 or so sales representatives that were under me. So you know how that is. I was tied. I had golden handcuffs. I made good money, and I was well respected in the industry, and I still am. But I had no life, if you know what I'm saying. So the one question that kind of got me over the hump. Sometimes questions and words hit you differently sometimes, right? So the one that got me over the hump was my mentor looked at me, and I remember clearly because we were at Chili's restaurant. And when we were at Chili's restaurant trying to have a dinner for an hour or an hour and a half, however long it takes to sit down and enjoy dinner, we are trying to have a dinner and I remember at Chili's, we met there to talk some business or whatever. And I remember, guys, I was dealing with all my sales representatives. And so when you have that many sales representatives underneath you and your reps run appointments all through the evenings, you're on call. So my phone's blowing up, right? So I'm trying to sit there at dinner at Chili's and my phone's blowing up and I have to say, excuse me, and get up from the dinner table, walk outside, to the front of Chili's where people smoke cigarettes and that, and walk out there and handle sales call real quick with a sales rep because they were busy trying to sell something. And then I had to walk back in, sit back down at the table. I had to do this 3 or 4 times throughout the 1 hour long dinner at Chili's. And I remember my mentor said to me, how much longer do you want to work so many hours like this and be on call like this to make $100,000 a year? And of course I was like, well, I don't want to be this tied down and I don't want to have this lack of freedom and I don't want to do all this, but what are you supposed to do, right? We got bills to pay. Anybody ever feel like that? And I remember I him and I'd hawed and I'd talk to him about notes and I talked to him about, switching gears and all this good stuff for some time, but I just was hard-headed and I was stuck. What's up, Christian? Good to see you. But I was stuck, right? Who feels stuck? I don't have enough time. I'm stuck. I'm already working full time. I don't have time to make a shift in life, right? So my mentor was watching me go through that struggle of mentally wanting something, but in the real world, in the physical realm, not making any commitments to get it, just sticking to my same schedule, hanging out with my same people, working the same job, doing the same, wearing the same. I was doing the same. And so my mentor, he said to me, when you're ready, and I see that you're ready, when you've made a real commitment and I see that you're ready to be trained in mortgage note investing. He said, when I see that from you, a real commitment, then I'll teach you. I'll take you under my wing, but not until you've made an actual commitment, because I was hemming and hawing, right? So how many people know that there's lots of good talkers out there, but not a lot of people that are actually the doers, right? Well, that's what my mentor was saying to me back then, is basically I was being a talker. I wanted a different life. I wanted more financial freedom. I wanted to build passive cash flow. I wanted to be a real estate entrepreneur. I wanted that, but I wasn't taking any actions to make changes or to get me there. So he was basically calling me out and saying I'm a big talker. And so he doesn't mentor with or coach talkers. It was his point. His point was, when I show him a real commitment that I'm committed to change my life and I show him, then he would coach me, train me, right? That's how it went down. So I sold my house. I quit my job. I moved my family. I rented a house and I rented an office, and I called him on the phone one day and I said, hey man, so I burnt all the bridges and I'm ready. So I had to make a pretty damn big life-changing, risky commitment to be able to learn all this stuff. So when Andy's talking about how does the NIU help people, why did we start our community to help other people learn note investing, is because I created a program with my mentor and I had him do a lot of it because I wanted him to be able to educate others just like he educated me. My life was able to change quite drastically because of this mentorship. And so I thought, let's change a bunch of other people's lives and do it for cheap. Because people are charging 10, 15, 20, 25,000 bucks for these real estate coaching programs. So I had him do the NIU, and the NIU is where someone, Andy, can come to, gain the expertise and have hand holding and trainings available and all sorts of different things. It's very high value for a low cost, but we have a community where people can come and learn how to invest in the paper side of real estate rather than the physical property side of real estate. And again, like I'm saying, guys, most people don't even know what I do exists. I was talking to some very successful people recently, very successful, and their jaws were kind of dropping on what it is that I do. Somebody even yesterday, a guy named Michael, I was playing golf, not yesterday, on Sunday morning, a guy I was playing golf with at the country club says to me, so wait, you mean someone sends their mortgage payment to you And his confusion was there, right? And this is what oftentimes happens when we talk about note investing. I did the same damn thing. I did the same damn thing. When Desi told me that you could own someone's mortgage, I was like, nah, you cannot. I've never heard of that before, so that's got to be hogwash, right? You mean someone sends their mortgage payment to you? And of course, that's not the case. They don't send the mortgage payment to you. Okay, because it would be weird. Sending your mortgage payment to another person would be weird because people are used to sending their mortgage payment out to some sort of an entity. People are sending their mortgage payment to Wells Fargo Bank. People are sending their mortgage payment to Bank of America. People are sending their mortgage payment out every month to an entity. So it would be so weird to think that someone would send their mortgage payment to another person. And of course, it is weird that way. I totally get it because that's not normally how it happens, that you send your mortgage payment to a person. We have a licensed loan servicing company that's a third-party vendor, a service company. And this company services mortgage loans. That's what they do. It's called a mortgage loan servicing company. So when I buy mortgage debt, and I take over the paper, and I buy the mortgage debt for cash flow, when I buy someone's mortgage debt, instead of buying the property, I buy the underlying paper. When we buy the mortgage debt, we then take that mortgage loan and we onboard it with a licensed loan servicing company. So the letter that the homeowner gets and the mortgage transfer goes from Bank A to Entity B. It doesn't go from Bank A to Patrick because I don't want somebody sending their monthly mortgage payment to Patrick. So they're going to send their monthly mortgage payment to Madison Management. Madison Management is a licensed loan servicing company across the United States. They're approved in most every state. And so if you bought one of these mortgages, it would be sort of like hiring a property manager for your rental property, kind of. Okay, not the same, but it's like hiring a property manager for your rental property, but you're hiring a loan servicing company to service your paper. Okay, so they're the ones sending out the monthly statement to the homeowner. They're the ones keeping track of the numbers, the late fees, if it got paid or didn't get paid, and so forth. They're the ones at the end of the year sending out the year-end statement of what their unpaid principal balance is and all those good things. So they service the loan on my behalf. So when somebody sends a mortgage payment in, they're not sending a mortgage payment to Patrick, they're sending a mortgage payment to Madison Management Servicing Company. Does that make sense? So the homeowner doesn't even know that I'm involved. I'm only involved on paperwork. How does it work on your taxes? Actually, as a note investor, it works on your taxes as secondary income. So it doesn't have a lot of the tax advantages that standard real estate comes with as far as depreciation and write-off capabilities. So it's a little different than physical real estate, Andy. It's considered secondary income. So what we want to do is we want to offset by business expense. We want to offset by vehicles. We want to offset by what do you call it? Other write-offs is basically what I'm getting at. But you got vehicles, you've got business supplies, you've got travel, and you do want to maybe own some real estate. It's always good to own some physical real estate for those tax write-off purposes. So we try to quell the taxes as much as possible, but it is considered secondary income, like if you had a second job. Nonprofit expenses. What do you mean by that, Dex? Oh, start a nonprofit. Yeah, I have one actually. I don't use it yet. I haven't tied it in to my ecosystem yet, but we started one. We do have a nonprofit. Oh God, I wish I could give her a shout out too. Do you remember her name, Dexter, the nonprofit gal? Just so I could give her a shout out because we're shouting out Madison Management Loan Servicing Company. Shout out to Madison. Shouting out Paper Stack, my boys that run a website that they buy and sell notes here on Paper Stack. Shout out to those guys. And then what is the lady's name, Dex, that does the nonprofits? I forget her name. I wish I could shout her out. What a sweet lady she is. But yeah, nonprofits are awesome. Let's see. How true is it that as a new note investor, we would be more subjected to the less desirable notes? Well, Roddy, that's an interesting statement that you say. I feel that that's not true. I suppose people might say that because new note investors have built zero relationships. It's a relationship-based business. So a new note investor who's built zero relationships in the industry obviously doesn't have a lot of great note investors showing them notes for sale. Oftentimes, they're just looking on Paper Stack as their only source, or they're known as brand new. Their expertise doesn't shine through. And so, of course, then you have sophisticated note sellers that would love to take advantage of a non-experienced buyer. That's 100%, right? So there's no doubt about that kind of stuff. But you're not subject to anything. People are selling notes out there on the market. We have to figure out who they are and figure out when they're selling notes. They go put notes out on a tape. They paste notes out. There's brokers that are putting notes out, and they're putting these notes out to all the buyers on their list. So it's not like, that they have a ranking of how new a note investor is on their schedule of buyers. They don't say, oh, Roddy's only been in this for 6 months. Patrick's been in it for 9 years. They don't do that and then figure out what quality of notes to send out. So I think that's a little fallacy. So I don't think that's true at all. I think we all have the same ability, new or old in the business, to make the relationships and to figure out who's selling the notes. And here's my thing, Roddy, is that, yeah, maybe if somebody gets in by themselves, they're a beginner, but not even beginner by the fact that they just started in the game. They're a beginner by the fact that they just read one book or watched somebody's podcast or whatever, and now they're a note investor. Well, in the small niche, what's the right way to say that? Niche, in the small niche industry that note investing is, because you realize most real estate investors don't even know notes exist. So because people don't even know that note investing exists, the little pool of people that do it at a high level is smaller than in physical real estate. I guess what I'm saying is, if we don't have those relationships, are we looking on sites like PaperStack, and those would be less desirable? Yeah, you figure PaperStack is just a hub, a website for anybody and everybody out there to go and buy and sell paper. So that can create some sort of trends sometimes. Obviously, when it's a seller's market, then there's a bunch of experienced note sellers on there trying to overcharge for their notes and sell notes maybe that experienced buyers wouldn't pay that price to buy from them, but they're trying to get rid of it for a higher price than should be worthy. So they're trying to sell to brand new people that don't know much better. So yes, this happens for sure. But here's my suggestion then. So I'm saying, if you're a self-starter and this person that's called what they call a self-starter doesn't want any mentorship, doesn't want to join any communities, doesn't want to be a part of a group, doesn't want to get themselves involved with the people to make some relationships, I always am weirded out by that, right? That's going to make it so much tougher. So that's one of the reasons why our community is so awesome. Roddy, it's because we have a bunch of people in the game already that you can befriend right in our community, and we have sources to notes, and we know other people besides PaperStack that sell, but we buy notes off of PaperStack as well. Let's see. Lottie, you would likely get the tail end of inventory if you don't have relationships sending you fresh stuff. Yeah, for sure. You get a coach like Patrick who leads you to the finish line when he continues to coach you. It's a win-win. You win and I win. Yeah. You earn as you learn. Yeah. That's really it, guys. Remember, I went through a whole life sacrifice, put my whole life on the line to be able to learn this stuff. We created Note Investor University so people can do it the easy way. You don't have to move your family. You don't have to sell your house. You don't have to do any of that. Okay? We have Note Investor University, which is our community where you can do all that I had to make sacrifice to do, which is learn all this stuff. Oh, this is heavy this morning, boy. And you can do it for a very inexpensive amount of money. And you can do it probably 10 times faster than what I did. So remember, my mentor did not have a coaching program. My mentor did not have a coaching program. He did not have video training. He did not have a community. It was just him. And the way I learned is I had to get down and dirty, get a yellow pad and a pen out and just try to bother the hell out of my mentor for like 6 months straight, maybe 8 months. He says a year, but it was, a lot of studying and a lot of asking questions, guys. And let me just show you guys, because this is a good little amount today that we're throwing on there. That's the little stack. So we got 25s on the outside and then 10s and another set of 10s. So 45 and 45, so 90 pounds on the lat pull down. We got 90 pounds on the lat pull down. And what we're going to do, guys, for working out, because there's a couple of reasons why people would want to come join my show. People would want to come here in the morning, 6:30 to 8 a.m., for physical and financial motivation. If you want to work out with me, you want to get in your best shape ever, I would love to be someone's motivation that's just like, well, if he's going to get up every morning when he's tired and do it and be there, I'm going to be there too. And if I could maybe I want some people to just work out with me, get in the best shape that they can get in physically. But also then while we're working out, guys, we can talk. While we're working out, we can listen. While we're working out, we can get education. And so I figured, why not talk about cash flow, investing, and financial freedom at the same darn time? So Dexter, you're right. Get a coach. get a mentor, and start moving forward with rapid pace and have someone there to look over your shoulder and someone that's been there and done it hundreds of times and those kinds of things. And that way you're going to speed up your success and you're going to build relationships, guys. By knowing my mentor when I got in the space, I started to be known. I started to go to conferences and be around the people with my mentor who was somewhat known in the space at that point already. Right? And so Dexter's right. When you know my partner, when you know me, when you get involved with people that are 100% in the note investing space, it's pretty easy to build relationships versus you out there trying to do it on your own. I hear we're having a virtual conference April 11th and 12th. Yes, anybody can attend, and I will be talking notes. So yeah, we're going to do a virtual conference. It was supposed to be the cash flow conference at sea, and we were going to do a boat cruise to Cabo San Lucas, and it was going well, and we were booking tickets and everything. We were going to do this cash flow conference at sea, but the turmoil that happened down in Mexico with the cartels and all that stuff sort of prevented us from doing the cruise to Mexico. So we canceled it, unfortunately. So we're replacing it April 11th and 12th this year with a virtual conference instead. So we're going to do a conference on online, and it's only going to be $97 for people to join. And yeah, we're going to have somebody talking about land investing there, somebody talking about development, somebody talking about real estate investment fund management. Someone's going to be talking about life insurance and infinite banking and dynasty trusts and how to protect your wealth. I got Nate here talking about individual retirement accounts on there. I'm going to be doing full case studies and a full description of how to use notes to create financial freedom. There's going to be a lot of good speakers. Thanks for reminding me of that. So we are doing that virtual conference April 11th and 12th. We're going to start putting some advertisements out here pretty shortly for it, but it's kind of cool. It goes from a really expensive, difficult traveling trip in Cabo San Lucas cruise ship, which would have been great for the people that could, excuse me, the people that could join us. But now we can talk to and help a lot more masses, right? So many more people can spend $97 to be on a two-day virtual real estate conference from the comfort of their own home versus spending thousands of dollars to travel out to California, get on a cruise ship, and go to Mexico. So hopefully it'll turn out to be a good thing. We can help a lot of people. That's the idea. But yeah, so it's the virtual conference instead of the real estate cash flow conference at sea that was supposed to be on the boat cruise to Cabo. Not no more. We had to cancel that because of the whole Mexico turmoil. And so we're going to do some back and some biceps and such today. And we're going to toss around some more talk about mortgage note investing, buying the paper, not the property, why it might be smarter for some of us to invest more like a bank and stop trying to do all the hard work and heavy lifting. The word passive has been sort of bastardized around lots of industries. Real estate to me is one of them. That everybody thinks if you stack more doors and you get, how many people on here would feel like if you had 10 rental properties, you'd be set financially? I mean, if you had 10 rental properties, you'd be set financially. Is that kind of a fallacy? And by the way, you'd be set financially and it would be passive. You would just live this great lifestyle of passivity if you had 10 rental properties in the portfolio. Do you agree that is misunderstood a little bit? That landlording and dealing with tenants and chasing rents and having all the liability on you for that property and anything that happens there, and the property taxes and the maintenance of the place and city and fines and everything comes to you if you own the actual physical property. So that's why some of us got into owning the paper, and some really, really experienced high-level real estate investors that have done the Burr method, house flipping, you name it, okay, are now realizing that from the front end, they're taking their real estate and they're seller financing it. They're using creative finance instead of putting a renter in there, instead of collecting rent, having all the hassles associated with being a landlord. A lot of these really experienced real estate investors are coming around, It's getting more and more popular. Whereas we just don't want to deal with the landlord headaches anymore. And we don't want to deal with those liabilities and chasing rents and dealing with this and that and cleanouts and that. So when we are in the note space, we have a homeowner living in the house, not a renter. So we're not collecting cash flow by way of rent. We're collecting monthly cash flow by way of mortgage payment. And let me ask you guys a question. Do you feel that even in hard times, do you feel that people usually tend to pay their mortgages? Yes or no? More so maybe than renters paying rent? Do you think that people that have a mortgage and are homeowners, do they tend to pay that monthly bill? They may let their electricity bill go a month late. They may let their car payment go a month or two late. They may let their credit card bills go late and delinquent and go to collections. They may let all this stuff happen. But one of the bills they generally pay, as Poncho said, what's up, Poncho? Good morning, man, is yes. So even during COVID, when we had a very large portfolio of these mortgages in our portfolio, even during COVID, when we thought, oh my gosh, there's going to be a big onslaught of people that stop paying their mortgage here because people are tight financially, their businesses got shut down, these stimulus checks are garbage. So we're going to have some big trouble here in our portfolio. We're prepping for it. But all through COVID and all that, only about 6 to 8% of our portfolio even had an issue, reached out, asked for forbearance, anything like that, or went delinquent. Very low percentage. So it does create some very stable, passive cash flow. And why am I saying passive like that? Because it is really passive, guys. You don't have the phone calls about the toilets and the termites and the leaks and the who knows what's. You don't have to worry about any of that because there's a homeowner living there. So the beautiful thing about having a mortgage note in your portfolio versus a rental property is that I know that this month, with my portfolio, I know I'm not going to get one phone call from one tenant or one property manager telling me about one problem that I've got to fix. I don't have to hire a new contractor, a plumber, a roofer. Oh God, none of that. I don't have to deal with any of that. But yet this month, still, that monthly cash flow is still going to hit my bank account from that piece of real estate. So it is quite advantageous, guys, sometimes to think that banks are pretty darn good at making money. We can all agree on that. And if banks are good at making money, but they don't have rental properties or flip houses, why the hell would we, if that makes sense, yeah? It's like, at least that's one kind of point to make, or a way to make that point. If banks are so good at making money, and banks don't flip any houses and don't own any rental properties, what the hell? But banks own hundreds, if not thousands, of mortgages, right? And so banks are just sitting back collecting major passive monthly cash flow from all this real estate all over the place without owning the real estate. Ooh. Woo. Hey, good morning if you're just jumping on. Curious, where are you guys at right now? You all know I'm in San Diego. Where are you watching from? And what do you think about notes? What do you think about passive cash flow from real estate all over the country without having to own that real estate? What's your take on that? When I first heard about it, I thought, it's too good to be true. It just doesn't make any sense. You can own someone's mortgage, and if they pay you as agreed, you make a great yield with passive cash flow. If they pay you their mortgage off early by refi or sell the house, you collect the discount because we buy mortgage debt at a discount, which was another odd one for me. And then you have, if they don't pay you, you have the house as your collateral, and I end up owning the real estate anyways, but from the back door, if you know what I'm saying. So, I don't know what you think about that stuff. What's your take on this stuff, right? It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. I know when I found out about it, the whole "it's too good to be true" thing hit me. And this is what quite often happens at first when people hear that you can own the paper. As a real estate investor, you can own the paper, not the property. And so sometimes, since people don't even know what I'm talking about and it's new to them, people get defensive, right? Like, what I'm talking about must be a scam or something. I thought the same damn thing. So it's like natural to think, this sounds too good to be true. Or wait a minute, if I've never heard of this, then it can't be real, or it's some sort of a scam. Of course, that's how I felt. My mentor showed me that the secondary mortgage market and mortgages, people's mortgage loans being traded all the time, has been going on for ages. It just so happens in 2008, the mortgage meltdown happened. And then 2009, 10, 11, 12, the secondary mortgage market got flooded with inventory. So there was oversupply and little demand back then. And A bunch of millionaires were made, but here the thing was the banks couldn't handle that much non-performing debt at one time, so the banks had to sell off mortgage notes at pennies on the dollar. And so it flooded the industry with inventory and cheap inventory. And those people who were prepared at that time, had their expertise, had access to private capital, they already knew about note investing. Those people really, really were in right time, right place, as markets are cyclical. So that's another reason about why would you guys get trained? Why would you pay for coaching in like the note investing space? Well, markets are cyclical. And here soon enough, guys, there's going to be another onslaught of non-performing debt. So when we're talking about buying non-performing mortgages, there's some big profits to be made in non-performing mortgages. And it just so happens that markets are cyclical. And when there's another rush, guys, to the secondary mortgage market, when there's another rush of inventory heavily hitting the space, guys like me will be there prepared. We've already got past the expertise point. We've already got past some of the experience point. We've already got past the fact that we know how to raise private capital. So we're kind of set up, waiting like a lion to pounce. But in any markets, guys, there's always notes flowing. You guys go to PaperStack right now, you'll see that there's a bunch of notes for sale. So yeah, the bottom line is having relationships, being able to have the expertise, because you got to know what's a good note, what's a bad note, and how to do all the due diligence and those kind of things. So you have to know all that. But then it's a numbers game, man. You're looking at notes, you're doing due diligence, you're previewing stuff, you're in the game. And every now and again, a really good note opportunity will come across your desk, so to speak. A really good note opportunity will come across your desk. And if you're there prepared with the expertise, you know how to acquire it, you know the due diligence, you know all that. And then maybe you need access to private capital. Maybe you have your own money. But if you're prepared and know how to raise private capital as well, then there's really nothing stopping you, right? And for every single mortgage note you purchase, you can make money up front when you acquire the asset. You can then start to add monthly cash flow to your bottom line and net worth. So every note you buy does that, puts cash in your pocket up front when you do the deal. It adds passive monthly cash flow to your monthly income, and increases your net worth. So those are the things you can get each note you buy. And so if you knew that you could use your expertise as the tool, use other people's money, and acquire a bunch of these assets at setting yourself financially free quickly, wouldn't it be something that we'd concentrate on maybe doing or learn about? Yeah, absolutely. What's the difference between performing and non-performing notes? Pancho, a performing note means that it is performing. So the people who are living in the house, they are paying their mortgage payment on time like a good borrower. That would mean it's performing. A non-performing mortgage note would be that it's in delinquency. So that means in order to be considered non-performing or in delinquency in the mortgage space, it has to be more than 90 days late. So you guys know that your mortgage doesn't really get put into delinquent mode and they don't pursue action against you until it's more than 90 days late. So I'm just saying that we can buy mortgage loans on the secondary mortgage market that are already non-performing. So people are selling this debt that is non-performing. It means the people living there are not making their mortgage payment. And just like a house flipper would want to try to find a really hairy or dilapidated house that has a lot of problems, because a good house flipper that can fix all those problems efficiently has more profit margin, right? It's almost like the worst condition the house is in, with the expert that knows how to fix it up and get it back to brand new, is more profit for that house flipper. So in the note space, we can buy non-performing notes, and non-performing notes, they're already in delinquency. So that means they're a little hairy. They're not perfect notes at all. There's going to have to be more elbow grease put into it and more things done creativity-wise. So it's just going to take more time and it's a little more risky. We buy those non-performing notes at a much deeper discount. It means I pay less for them because they aren't perfect, right? So the worse quality a house gets, the better for a house flipper. Sometimes the worse quality a note gets, the better for the professional note investor who knows how to work those things out. So yeah, pretty interesting. Didn't I tell you, Pancho, I bought a non-performing note when I was early in my career because I sold my house. When I sold my house, I paid off some debts that I owed and things like that. After I sold my house and paid off the debts, I had about $78,000 left when I first got started in this. So if you guys want to know, that's exactly how much money I started with. Bridges burnt and 78 grand. No income, no job, quit my job. I had 78,000 bucks. You guys know how expensive it is to live out here in California. So that wasn't going to last me too long. And then I took, $37,000 of that, and I bought a non-performing note in Michigan. So I remember I bought this note, back in 2019, I bought this note. And I bought it for $37,000 and change. And I did a $99,000 loan modification for those borrowers, and on a new 20-year term. And what I started doing is I collected $948 a month for 39 months and then got paid off $93,400. And that was a $37,000 investment. So that's how non-performing notes can be very fruitful. Again, I invested $37,000 investment. I collected $948 per month of cash flow for 39 months. And then after the 39th month, I got a payoff request because they sold their house in Michigan and moved to Florida. And what they still owed me at that time was $93,400. So I invested 37 grand. I collected 39 monthly payments of $948 cash flow. And then I got paid off $93,400. So that's a nice one there, right? Sometimes we get base hits, sometimes we get doubles and triples, and every now and time you're going to get a home run, but you got to be in the game to get the base hit, double, triple, or home run. You got to be in the game. You got to be taking at bats, right? So that's what we teach at our community. We teach you how to get in the game, learn the expertise, make the friendships, get the community around you, get connections, have things at your behest that you need like this, especially when you're new, and that's what we teach in our community. We teach you how to be able to go out there and find a good note and buy the damn thing. If you don't have your own money, we teach you how to use someone else's money, okay? But the bottom line is, guys, it never is your ability to build a real estate portfolio, your ability to be successful, your ability to be wealthy, your ability to do that has to do with your skill set and your willingness to do and be an operator. That's the separator, because there's plenty of money out there, guys. There's plenty of money out there that's looking for a good deal. Are you somebody that can produce a good deal and somebody that could be trusted to execute on that deal? If you could find good deals and you're a person that's trusted to execute on those, then you can go out there and present these opportunities to lenders, people that have money. Say, here's what I do, here's what I'm about to do, and here's what I'm looking for as far as a private lender is concerned. Dude, I tell you what, these heavier lat pull downs, man, not only do they work your lats and your back, but they start to give your biceps a pretty good pump. Just doing these wide grip lat pull downs with a bit of a heavier weight. It's a good exercise, man. Really good. Good for building broadness. You know, everybody, they call them the wings, latissimus dorsi, that you're working out here, but it really does pump your biceps. So we're going to do some seated rows after this last set of lat pull downs. We're going to do some seated rows, then we're going to do some upright rows, then we're going to do some shoulder exercises with the dumbbells, and then we're going to end it with some curls. And so what you'll notice in this exercise today, guys, is almost every single exercise that we're doing is going to work your biceps. And at the end, after all of that, you're going to work your biceps. So hopefully we get a good arm pump today. But that's a beautiful thing, right? It creates a really good opportunity. It creates a really good opportunity, guys, for us to live a passive lifestyle. What's up? What's up, Streeper? How you doing? What if your job gets in the way and you just want to deploy money and you don't have the time to do the due diligence? Yeah, then you would just be a private lender. So we always say this, Streeper. Here's a funny way to look at it. We always say that mortgage note investors like me get all the benefits of being a landlord without all the headaches associated with being a landlord. So that's one of the statements that gets thrown around a little bit in the industry. When you're a note investor, you have pretty much all the benefits that come with landlording without all the hassles associated with being a landlord. So that's the difference between owning the property and collecting rents versus owning a mortgage note like I do. So they compare them that way, saying that owning a rental property is a headache generally and owning a note is not, right? Well, when a private lender lends money to a note investor like me or my partner or whoever, when you are a private lender to a note investor, you pretty much get all of the benefits of being a note investor without all the hassles of being a note investor. So that's to answer your question, Streeper. You would just become a private lender, which is actually kind of what we're doing. You're basically being the bank. You are really being the bank. And the cute thing about note investing or private lending to a note investor is that If you were a private lender of mine, I would be assigning you a mortgage note as your collateral. So you are collateralized. It means you're not going to lose your money. It's a good thing. And you have a mortgage note as your collateral. One of the beauties of that is this. If you loan money to a house flipper and they give you a lien position on the real estate, okay, and then they mess up, as a private lender in that scenario, we're going to have to go through a bunch of red tape in order to take back our collateral, if that makes sense, right? So we get first lien on this piece of real estate. And hold on. Oh, I knew you'd show up one of these days. What's up, brother? I didn't know if you were my pool guy. How you doing, man? Oh, man, we got the famous Dexter Holiday in here. So this is Dexter, who you guys see in the comments all the time on my lives. He decided to stop by, pulled up in the neighborhood out here, and knocked on my garage door and said, good morning.
Yes, sir.
What's up, brother?
Live and well, man.
Live and well. Here, let me pull you up a chair. Let me pull you up a chair, bro. Yeah, we had a visitation today, didn't we? And now you get to see how awesome it is to be up in this dungeon doing these lives in the mornings. There you go. Have a seat. Oh, I doubt that. Now, Dexter says he's going to pump some iron. I said, I doubt that. But it's pretty cool, guys, when you can get somebody that is on your lives. Poncho said, what's up, Dexter?
What's up, Poncho?
Streeper said, what up, Dexter?
Yeah, I hit Streeper and I hit Christian. Christian's on there, right?
Yeah, Christian came on. Streeper's on here. We're doing some good Q&A. We finally got some good questions.
Okay, good.
He's so much more handsome than me. I should just have the camera on Dexter while I talk. But boy, oh boy, Dexter didn't know he was going to come and be YouTube famous today. We'll put this away a little bit.
Support.
We'll put this away a little bit.
You support the people that support you, right?
You support the people that support you.
Absolutely.
And sometimes I feel like Dexter's just bored. He has nothing else to do, so he wants to come bug me. But it's all good. Oh, TFC said, working out? Yeah, right. Let's see that cold curl. I did it yesterday. It's not that hard, actually. Maybe I've just gotten a lot stronger.
Cold, man.
Oh, cold? Yeah, it's because you ain't lifting weights, man. Get your body moving. Let's see. TFC. My garage door's shutting. Hold on, it's a little noisy. Let me see. TFC, so you said you've been clean for about 2 months, but you've had trouble finding focus. All right, fair enough. Came across my live, wanted my perspective on this. I've been dependent on Adderall and nicotine for a few years now. Any advice on kicking this? I work 8 to 10 hours on a computer. Yeah, for sure. Definitely, I actually feel like there is some positive to nicotine, by the way. That's going to be, I know, an argumentative subject, and people are going to say, what the fuck are you talking about? It's all good, though. But I think that there's some good things about nicotine. Yeah, the Adderall, you definitely don't need that. So how do you kick the Adderall? You stop taking it. You don't need Adderall. Yeah, you don't need Adderall. Adderall is just like crack, like legal crack. So you don't need Adderall. Adderall's bad. Adderall is bad for you. You don't need Adderall whatsoever. But, getting better sleep, and if you're sitting at a computer for 8 or 10 hours a day, maybe you ought to get a desk where you stand and one of those little treadmills, something like that, but proactively trying to get your body to move. Dex needs to do it. That's right. They're calling you out. Yeah, they're calling you out. Yeah, I did the 90-pound curl yesterday in here. And you said, man, that ain't nothing. I just picked up my granddaughter.
No, my girl.
Oh, my girl. I just picked up my girl. That's nothing. All right, so yeah, that's what we got to do. We got to bust him, right? We got to bust him.
90 pounds?
He said he could do it, no problem, didn't he, Christian? Yeah, he did, didn't he? Well, we gonna call him out today. Oh, yeah. I like this. I like this audience, too. I like this audience. Here, you guys can say what's up to Dexter for a second. I'm going to switch the handle up so I can do some seated rows here. And but we will get him to do that 90-pound curl. We'll see how tough he is. We'll see how strong Dexter is. I mean, he came over here wearing spandex and shit. He came over here ready to work out. I still got man boobs.
You know, hey, well, you know what? At least I can see my muscles a little bit.
Oh man,
Remember that?
you were chubby. You look good, bro.
Yeah. Remember that time I was telling you about being for buff?
Yeah, for buff.
Yeah.
For buff. I got a whole bunch of fat on top of my buff. That's so funny. Better start warming up, Dexter. Yeah, they said they don't want me to injure you here in the garage. No wonder Dex is cold. Exactly. So guys, we're gonna stick with the same weight, but in seated rows like this, you definitely should be able to pull more weight towards you like this than you should from up top to down. So generally the weight gets a little bit. Let's see. No wonder Dex is so cold yet. Better start warming up, Dexter. Yeah, here here. These are the 8-pound dumbbells. Here, warm up with those, bro. So, these seated rows, you should be able to put some more weight on. So, I still have the 90 pounds on there from the lat pull downs, but you should be a little bit stronger in this position. So, I'm going to add a little bit more weight to it. But yeah, Dexter was saying that you get together with people like me that make friends out of my students. Dexter's been with me for a long time, but we're friends more so than a student-mentor relationship. We become friends, yeah? And that's why he's one of the only people from NIU that will be able to stop by my house at 7:30 in the morning and knock on my garage.
Yeah, 'cause wait, how old is your oldest?
7.
7.
Yeah.
Dude, remember when I used to walk up and she used to think I was Desi?
Yeah. So Dexter and my business partner, Desi, they look alike, you know? That is kind of racist, though. You guys don't all look alike. That's bullshit.
I know, it is.
Okay, but if you put Michael Jordan, Dexter, and my partner Desi in a room, you might say who's who. Okay, straight up. That is funny.
Yeah, 'cause she would. She come right on up when she was a baby. I was kid.
Yes, Streeper, he did take the course with myself and Desi. Yeah.
No. I just got started. Like I always tell you, Justin, I got started. I earned while I learned, and then I learned more from the just going.
Oh yeah. You did a deal, didn't you?
Yeah.
Didn't you? Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
So yeah, him and his brother did a deal with me. So what Dexter's saying about earn while you learn is, if you do have money to invest, and you do want to learn how to be an expert in note investing, but you don't want to go through a course or take that kind of coaching or mentorship program, then if you have that kind of money, like our whole mentorship program is $2,900, and we teach you everything you need to know. Okay, and you're putting at risk $2,900 to bet on yourself. That's the mentorship program, $2,900. Now, normal investment that we like to buy these days is $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. So if one wanted to learn how to be an expert in note investing, they didn't want to go through a mentorship program, coaching, or classes. They could put up the $50,000, $60,000, or $70,000 and do what's called a joint venture partnership, where you would joint venture partner with me or my partner Desi or whoever you choose as your expert, and you do a joint venture partnership with them where they supply the training and the expertise in the asset acquisition, management, exit strategies, and all of that, and bring you and walk you through the process. So you actually would learn in a note investment. And that's for somebody that wants to be hands-on and wants to learn how to be a pro at all this, doesn't want to go through a $2,900 coaching program, is willing to put their money on the line to earn while they learn how to do it. Now, the other one I was telling you guys about is private lending, is somebody that's not really going to learn much. That's just somebody that wants to quietly collect checks. But you can do a joint venture partnership with an expert in the industry, and that way you are involved in all the decision-making and all the processes that go along with doing the due diligence, acquiring the asset, managing the asset, and all those good things. You'd actually be involved as a partner in the asset. You would be in charge of the money, and your partner would be in charge of the expertise and the hand-holding, so to speak. So you can earn while you learn, but I don't know about you guys. I wouldn't want to risk 50, 60, or 70 grand to learn this. I'd probably want to risk $2,900 and see if I can become an expert first before putting my money like that out there. Yeah, probably be smarter. You want to do that, but you're afraid of your job being hands-on would get in the way. Streeper, the people that want to be a pro at the business are people that are planning on buying multiple assets and know that they're going to need the skill of utilizing other people's money. If someone is sitting on their own money and they just want to have that money earning a good return and they want some passive cash flow to supplement their lifestyle, they're very busy, like my dentists, right? Talk about dentists opening the doors of their practice every morning and shutting the doors of their practice every morning. Dentists, very busy, always seeing patients in that. No time. So those folks become either private lenders with me or they would invest money into our fund. But those create pure passivity. You don't have to be involved in the day-to-day, the deals. You don't have to worry about anything. Collect a check. So as a private lender to a note investor, it's very passive. You don't have to be involved in anything. Or you invest into like our fund, Everly May, where we have a huge pool of these assets under management. Kind of reduces your risk a little bit, not subject to the outcome of one asset. And of course, we have a whole team of people that manage our portfolio. So you're in good hands. So either a private lender or a fund investor. That's for people that want to be really passive. Oh, starting to burn on these ones, buddy. Oh. In the fund, sorry. Yeah, that makes more sense. In the fund or a lender, yep. Blue collar life does get in the way, man.
Cool thing is that you have options. Options are always good.
As a private lender, you get a note as collateral, Rod. So if you lent money to me, to my note investing business, and you became a private lender, I would be issuing you one of my notes as your collateral. So it's beautiful that you don't have to foreclose or go in through any legal action if I fail to pay you back your private loan. You get to file one document in county records, county recorder's office, and you get to take that collateral. So that's why I love a private lender's position in this game versus a private lender that's lending with physical real estate as the collateral, because you got to go through a bunch of red tape to take back physical real estate. You got to go through judicial process, foreclosure, all this other stuff. Whereas in a note investing, if you're a private lender to a note investor, if the note investor fails to pay you back on your loan as agreed, you file one document in county records and you take the note. You now own the note and they start sending the mortgage payment to you every month. So it's a really good position. A private lender to a note investor is actually optimal. You get all the benefits of being a pro note investor without having to deal with the headaches of being a pro note investor. And with the investment fund, it's obviously different, right? Investment fund pays out quarterly cash flow, not monthly. And you're relying upon a larger pool of assets as your stability. So, yeah, guys, I mean, it's how active or passive do you want to be always becomes the question. With the activity and the people that want to be active, you can really build a life of financial freedom and you can become wealthy using the tactics and skills you learn as an entrepreneur in the space. But that's not for everybody. A lot of people just want to invest their money in a good, safe place where it spits off a good return, and I get that. That's why we have a lot of individual retirement account investors in our fund. They're looking for protection. They don't want to lose money, number one. And number two, they're looking for a better return than what the bank pays them. So we get a lot of IRA money into our fund. Why would you earn 3.5% in your individual retirement account and count on that money when you're 65 to retire with when you could earn 10% on that money? 4% compounding versus 10% compounding is a huge difference, guys, over 20, 25 years' time in a retirement account. It's huge. It's the difference of, hey, when I retire, I'll have $165,000 to retire with, or when I retire, I'll have $385,000 to retire with. Same damn money you started with 25 years prior, but put that money to work instead of at 4%, at 10%. Okay?
What do they call it?
Spread, yeah. 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 So here, I'm going to do this. Oh, Jay? Yeah, NJ, yeah. NJ. Have a good day. Hey, NJ, what's going on? Good to see you. So I was going to switch this up so that you guys see Dexter. Andy had to bounce.
Andy's always doing work, and he's one of those guys where I don't give him shit. He's like, hey, I got to go. I got to do work. I'm like, okay, go ahead. He's working for us. So. Yeah. Do one more set of these guys. We're going to come up on this 90-pound curl here, so don't go anywhere. I'm going to make Dexter curl this 90-pound bar, and we're going to see if we can't tear his bicep up and get him to the hospital. This gets hard. Your biceps start burning from the lat pull downs, from these seated rows. Okay.
I get tired.
Dexter said he gets tired just watching me. It's so funny. The live stopped for a minute while you were comparing both the fund and... Oh, my live cut out for a second. It's so jacked. Yeah, you can get into the minimum. You can get into the fund minimum of $25,000. Yes. Madman. Whew. No, I mean I've been doing a lot more talking down here in the garage in the mornings, and I have not been hitting my fitness goals. So we're just trying to hit the weights a little harder today. Problem is I get out of breath. Right when you do these big sets, a lot of breathing is required to do weightlifting properly, right? Breathing's important. And I'm sitting here talking to you guys throughout my whole set, and it's harder than you think. It is a lot harder than I presumed it would be to run a live while working out. What about just private lending? Yeah. No, private lending is where it's at. Like I said, if you're a private lender to a note investor, you get a note issued to you as your collateral. So if I fail, as somebody who you've lent the money to, if I fail, then you're just going to take my note from me. And it requires one document. Dexter showed up. Yeah, I know. I told him that already. Thank you, though. Now I have Dexter right here and you trying to help me run the live when I'm on it. Oh, my God. You guys ever had backseat drivers on your live? Yes, $25,000 is the minimum to invest into our fund. Our average investor is around $150,000. It's our average investor. $25,000 is the minimum to invest in Everly May.
Tell Justin he has to come in VIP 100.
Oh yeah, Dexter said no. Justin has to come in as a VIP, at least $100,000 plus. Why are you laughing? What if he said, watch this, I will.
Hey, Justin's that guy. If he really wanted to, he can start his fireplace with bundles of hundreds.
Oh, I see. You could start a fire with bundles of hundreds. Justin. He's 20K away from, he said, LOL, he's 20K away from having the 25. He's 20,000 away from having the 25,000. That's funny. But here's something interesting, right? I want you guys to understand something. When you get into the money business, that's where the money's at. When you're in the money business, that's where the money's at. So when you're in the money business and you're figuring out how the money works, get this. What if you could borrow money from somebody at 6%? If you could, that's your cost of capital. If you could borrow money from somebody at 6% and you invested that money with me at 10%, you'd be making the spread. You'd be private lending someone else's money. Think about that. I know, Justin. He said he's about 20K away from the 100K.
I already know.
I know. I was only giving you shit, Justin. No, probably not. You're gonna move that. Yeah, you're gonna move that. I think. Hold on. Let's figure it out. No, you got to move it. Dexter just comes up to your crib and pulls his truck up right in the middle of your driveway. Right in the middle of your driveway. Wife's got to take the kid to school. Can't even get out. You got Dexter over here blocking it up. What is the minimum amount to private lend? In private lending, I look to buy a full note with the partner's money. And so I'm looking for 50,000 plus is private lending. Dex is moving his car real quick. So funny. I'm gonna get Dexter to try that 90-pound curl though. He's a strong guy. I think he can do it. If you guys have tried it yet, try that. An Olympic bar with 225s on each side, a 90-pound curl on a straight bar. There was a challenge on social media where they said most men can't do it. So I'm like, wait a minute. And I come out to the garage and I put it all together and I said, I'm gonna test that out. Thankfully, I could do it, but they said most average men can't do a 90-pound curl. And now, of course, if we're launching our back up and using our legs and doing all that, yes, most of us can. But to sit still with a 90-pound flat bar, to sit still and just be able to use all your bicep strength to curl it up in a good form curl, said most men can't do that. And I went, well, wait a minute, I'm going to find out if I'm most men or not. And I was able to do it. What do you say? Nice Tundra, Dex. Classic, not a new Tundra with the problems. Tundra. Yeah, he's got that old F-150 truck. Good old F-150. All right. So, the seated rows are done. Now we're going to work out some upright rows real quick, and then we're going to do the 90-pound curl. So, sit tight. I just got to get done with this last set here. And the fam should be coming out to go to school. So now with upright rows, just so y'all know, when we did the lat pull downs, you can do quite a bit of weight. When you get into a seated row position, you're pulling it towards you like this, you can do quite a bit of weight, even more than you could with lat pull downs. And when you're pulling stuff from the ground up like this, and using the top shoulders and that, and the outside shoulders to pull weight upwards like this to your chin, you got to go lighter. Can't do nearly the same amount of weight. So that's what we're going to do, is take these 25s off. There you go. And now we got 2 10s on each side, a black one and a silver one. So we got 10, 20, 30, 40. We got 40 pounds on there. And just as soon as I get through with these upright rows here, you guys, we're going to do the 90-pound curl challenge. So sit tight and we'll see if Big Dexter can do the 90-pound curl without injuring himself. I don't want to have to take him to the doctors. So we got a lighter weight, and what I like to do with these guys is put these handles on because they're super flexible and they're longer. And I like to chop them down about halfway and put those loops in there. And what it allows you to do is sort of have a little more free movement with your arms, and it helps my shoulders a little bit. So we'll get done with these upright rows, and then once we do these upright rows, we're going to do the 90-pound curl challenge. Saying most men cannot curl 90 pounds. We're going to find out if Dexter is most men or not after we do these upright rows. Oops, I got to move this bench before I die. There you go. All right, guys. So the upright rows will be the last minute, and you'll see already the veins are starting to go in those arms, right? Because everything you do from a lat pull down to a seated row to an upright row is putting pressure on your biceps, and it's working those biceps. So we're getting an intense bicep workout all along while we're working our back and our shoulders. And then as soon as we're done with all this and our biceps are already all burnt out, that's when we attack the biceps and we do curls and things like that. So sit tight. I'm going to finish these couple of sets of these upright rows. Then we'll whip out the Olympic bar. We'll see what kind of man strength Dex has. He said, "Oh, I picked up my girl, man. 90 pounds ain't nothing." He forget that his girl was jumping up off the ground with her feet while he was lifting at the same time, and had her arms around his neck. Dexter wondered why on the live. Dexter wondered why on this live sometimes I'm breathing hard. It's got to look like I'm not working out very hard on the camera from your guys' point of view. But now that Dexter's sitting 5 feet away from me, He sees that I'm working out, and it does get you out of breath. It's so difficult to do a live and pay attention to you guys and talk without being all out of breath. It was so funny getting the haters and the trolls on here going, man, you need to do cardio. You're all out of breath and you're just sitting there lifting weights. And I'm like, man, I really wish people would come on live and do a workout and try to talk at the same time. I want to go on their live and, oh gosh, talk some shit. So, how funny. How funny. She was doing a majority of his 90-pound lift, they said. She was doing a majority of that lift. All right, so not too long of a break between sets. Shoulders are burning. Biceps are getting nice and pumped up. So we know it's working. Christian, they're having a good old time with you, Dex. Having a good old time. Well, I'm curious. Hey, let's take a vote. I want to know what you guys think. Those of you who do know Dexter. I know Dexter very well, and I give Dexter a lot of credit. I've seen him lose a lot of weight. I've seen him be disciplined, and I know he's a man of will and strength. So I do have respect for him that way, where I may be positive and give him some credit and think, I think he can do the 90-pound girl. I really think he can. But what do you guys think? I want to vote. I want to vote yes. Do you think, put a yes in the comments if you think Dexter will be able to do the 90-pound curl. Put no in the comments if you think no, he won't be able to do the 90-pound curl. And we're going to see who's right. But I want to see the votes. I want to see the votes. Put yes or no in the comments. If you think Dexter, how old are you now, Dexter? If you think a 53-year-old man can do the 90-pound curl where you take a regular Olympic bar, you put 25-pound weights on each side, you can't use your back, you can't do nothing like that. You got to just hang the weight there and just curl it up. And somebody online said, most men cannot do that. So we're going to find out. He's going to struggle a bit. Okay, so Streeper said he's going to struggle a bit, but I'll give him a yes. Maybe he could do it. He's going to struggle a little bit.
Well, Streeper also knows that there's a 50-50 chance. Why? Because I will at least try.
Yes. That's a good point. Dexter said there's a 50-50 chance that he'll do it because you know why? He'll try. And there's a lot of validation to just trying sometimes.
Talkers that just sit on the sideline and do nothing.
Yes. And by the way, if he fails, then that means I'm going to have to get him over here each morning for the next 3 weeks and get his biceps yoked. No, I think he can do it. What do you guys think? We got Streeper saying, think you can do it. So yes, do you think Dexter can do the 90-pound curl, or no, do you think he'll fail? That's the survey right now. Christian says, thinks he can do it. Yeah, yes, but how long you said you've been out of the truck? Yeah. Hey, do you guys remember Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone, the old movie called Over the Top? Sylvester Stallone was in an arm wrestling movie called Over the Top back in the day.
I do remember that, but I don't remember.
He was a truck driver.
Oh, really?
He was a semi-truck driver. He's a truck driver. Sylvester Stallone in the movie Over the Top. You got to watch it now. Because he's a truck driver like you guys, right? But he put a weight stack in his truck next to him in the cab. And he was an arm wrestler guy. So he had one of these pulleys and a little weight system next to him when he was driving. And he had this thing and he was going like this. Like working out while he's driving his truck. So come on, guys. Be more like Sylvester Stallone.
I do that stretching for sure.
Yeah, put a little weight stack in your car while you're driving, like Sylvester Stallone, Over the Top. That was a great movie back then. Christian says, "Yeah, I love Over the Top." Yeah, it's a badass movie. Roddy said your arms look like they were shaking when you were just holding your phone. That's so funny. Yeah, so stick tight. We're going to do the 90-pound curl right after I do this set because I'm going to get my biceps about as burnt as they can possibly be before I try it. All right. Fair enough. So you guys want to see the 90-pound curl challenge? Let's do this. Whew. Let's scoot this bench out of the way. Get us some space. I need to smoke one before this. All right. Here, it'll just wheel up. Yeah, like that. Out of the way. All right, let's move these benches out of the way. I can put it on. Well, I was mirroring this on it so I could see that, and it allowed me to read these better on the TV. It's bigger. And I could look both directions and see it. And my live cut off of YouTube the other day.
I remember that.
Everybody started dropping off. It went from like 20 people down to like 2.
Right.
I'm like, what happened? And my wife came out and she said, hey, we all got kicked off. I'm trying to get back on your live.
Yeah.
So I was wondering what was wrong with the connection. And I turned off the screen mirroring thing.
Oh, that's right.
And then it came back. So I'm like, okay, I'm just not going to use the screen mirroring thing anymore. All right, so the 90-pound curl challenge. What it is we use an Olympic bar. We got all the kids. Hi. Okay, she's still sleeping?
Yeah.
Bye, love. Have a good day at school. Have a good day at school. Bye. See you, lovey. Have a good day at school. All right. Older one is off to school. How do you like that? Oh, just thankful though that my kids are not going to see public school. Public schooling system is so lost in my opinion. And so my daughter is off to her Christian school, Christian private school. And so all you guys now have seen my wife, and you know that my daughters go to private Christian school. So do you realize now why I have to make money? Do you realize now why I have to make a lot of money? Oh, my neighbors are across the street working out too. They're badass Australians. My neighbors are badass. They're always straight across the street. Our garage doors are always opened up in the morning, and my Australian neighbors are out there saying, "Good day, mate," and killing a workout over there. All right, so 90-pound curl, guys. This is a regular Olympic bar. This happens to be a York brand. So we've got a York, and here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna shut this a little bit and open this instead. I'm gonna blast out my neighborhood. I'm gonna shut this down real quick. All right, so warm up, Dex. Do the bar first a couple times. Yeah, let Dexter just do the bar a couple times. Yeah. So it's going to be a regular Olympic bar, and you put 25-pound weights on each side. So these bad boys here, these Marcy's. So these are these Marcy's right here. Good old-fashioned plates. So we're going to throw on this York Olympic bar, and you guys know that an Olympic bar weighs 45 pounds, right? So the Olympic bar itself weighs 45 pounds, 25 on one side, 25 on the other. That makes 90 pounds. And there is no curl or no curve to this bar. So it can be tough on your wrists when you do a flat bar curl. And so that's why it is tough, guys. It's tough on the joints, it's tough on the wrists, and it's gonna be heavy with these 2 Marcy's on each side. So stick that thing down on the ground there, buddy. I think you're all warmed up now. Good for you. All right, so Dex is warmed up. Put on this one here and this one here. And just because I haven't lifted weights with Dexter ever, I'm gonna go the safety route, which is gonna add a few more ounces. We're gonna go the safety route just in case, you never know, okay? So we'll put these on the sides there, these collars, so that if we have to get sideways, the weights won't fall off and smash our toes or anything like that. So we don't want any injuries. All right. It's 90 pounds. It's 40, 45, and 50. Oh, 95, excuse me. Yeah, you are right. You are right. 95, 45, and 50. You're correct. I'm a lucky man. Why is that? Why am I a lucky man, Christian? For my wife and kids? If so, I appreciate that. Yes, Roddy, it's 95 pounds. Thank you. And those clips, they said the collars on the sides are going to make it just too heavy for you now, the collars on the sides of the weights. No, those collars aren't very heavy. So we've got the bar set up. You've got the 25 pounds on each side. So yeah, 95 pounds, guys, 95 pounds. So Dex, you got to just pick it up, let it hang at your waist, and try not to use your back and your legs, and just see if you have the strength to curl it up. I say yes, he can do it, guys. I have faith in my boy. Go ahead. I think you got it. I think you got it, no problem.
Yeah, I got
You got to be stronger than me. Almost. 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 He was this high. He was this high. He almost had it. All right, one more try. You got it. All your might. Breathe out when you're pushing it up. Breathe in and then breathe out on the way up. There we go. Breathe down your side. Breathe down your side. You can do it. Go! All right, don't injure yourself. Don't injure yourself. He almost had it.
Oh, man. Oh, and that's with the tennis elbow and everything.
I told you. Yeah. So this is it's not this is definitely not good. Definitely not good on the wrists and elbow joints, because if you have a curl bar, the curl bars are angled like that, so your wrists can sit in like this a little bit. Now, when you put your wrists way out like this, it does put some strain on your wrists and elbows. He's feeling it now. He's feeling
Christian, you're next, man. Come to California.
Is it hard? It's hard, isn't it?
It's very hard.
It's hard. Shit. I gotta fucking.
Yeah, I got it to here. I got it. Well, also, you know what? I think
hard.
I think if I would twist my wrist,
Yes.
which I didn't want to do.
Yes.
I was like, yeah, I probably could have curled.
All right, so it is harder than it looks, guys. It is harder than it looks. So now I am kind of, let's see, give him the bar with just the springs on the sides. Take the weights off.
Oh, man, it's done.
Oh, that's so funny. Christian said, "Oh, that's funny. I thought he was joking around. Like when you were struggling, they thought you were kidding."
Oh no, dude, it's no joke, bro. It's a 50-50 chance, but at least I tried it. But I'd say if I practice that for what, maybe
Streeper said, "I think if you do a little quicker rep, he thinks you've got it,
probably
and not go so slow."
Yeah. Actually, no, I did go slow just to feel it.
Yeah.
And I got here, and I was like, oh damn.
He said, "No, Dex, don't call him out. You're calling Christian out, man. Give him the bar with just the pins." I thought he was just playing around. I thought he was just playing around at first either. I thought he was joking, like he had it no problem. Kip it, buddy. He said, "Kip it. Just kip it with your hips. Get it up there."
Yeah, that would have definitely done it for sure. But I was like, no, I just want it straight.
All right, that's funny. All right, my biceps are burnt. Let's see if I can do it. My biceps are pretty burnt already. Let's see. All right. All right. All right. We can knock out a couple of those. Let's go. Why are you laughing at me, Bethany? Oh, man. Oh.
It's that face, man.
Oh, I know. That's hard, brothers.
It is hard.
Why are you laughing at me? Oh, damn. Oh. So that's hard. I could probably whip out about 6 or 7 of them. That was too much. Well, it's hard. It's hard for most men to do one of those. And especially after you've done a bunch of workouts and you got your biceps are just all pumped up with blood already anyways. Whew. I gotta check my drawers after that. I know. I was pushing out a good one. Oh my gosh. Fun times. Well, I guess the live shifted gears with my guests coming in today. Dexter coming in hot, so we got off subject and had a little bit of fun. But, it's fantastic when you guys can make relationships with people like Dexter, my friend here. And when you can make relationships with people that have the same type of mindset, you guys are always trying to hustle, support each other, give each other referrals, do what you can to help use your resources together. If you put five regular folks together that all have the same mindset and headed in the same direction, you have created a mastermind, like one of the smartest people in the world. 5 people together, same mindset, heading the same direction, you create a mastermind. So I like to hang out with people like Dexter, that came into my world through real estate investing. We met at a conference. He came into note investing. Him and his brother did a deal with me to earn while they learn. And, even though that deal that we did back in the past as an investment together is long gone, that deal's been paid off and such like that, but obviously you still remain friends. And so that's a beautiful thing about finding yourself a mentor that's really in the game doing things, and that's authentic and real and will spend time with you and want the best for you. And when you find people like that you can put around you in the same circle, your life will drastically change for the better, because it's oftentimes what's holding us back is the people we hang around with too much. And some people are not headed to a good place. And so, you can also do exactly opposite of that, right? When you're the person trying to change your mindset and make changes in life, and your friends that surround you are going that opposite direction, it's very difficult, guys, to swim against the flow of water in a stream. It's very difficult to swim upstream. So what you want to do is you want to have flow behind you, and you want to have people that support you. And Dexter, to me, is one of those people. And we didn't meet to be friends at first. We met to be colleagues in the real estate space and became friends. So, all these coaches and gurus out there, guys, that are selling $25,000 programs and that'll never talk to you. We must know that they're getting these cars, the fancy cars and things that they're showing on Instagram. They're getting these things because of selling $25,000 coaching programs to a bunch of people that they don't even talk to. And I somewhat disagree with that method. And in fact, it's getting people PTSD, which sucks, isn't it? It's getting people PTSD when it comes to coaching, right? Because they've paid money to some bullshit coaching company or something, and they didn't feel like they got value out of it whatsoever, and it was a ripoff, and half the time it was. And you didn't even get to talk to the actual guy, the guru, the coach, or whatever. You got to talk to his underlings or salespeople or what have you. And it's just bullshit. So it's not oftentimes you're going to become friends with with one of your mentors in a certain real estate space and become friends with them, because Dexter and I know that we don't need to do any deals together. We can. And Dexter knows I'm always here to do deals with him or any of his friends or help his friends or whatever, because we're all in the same crew of hopefully gathering people that are headed in the same direction and trying to do better for one another. Yeah? It's not a competition, it's a collaboration, yeah? I'm going to see if I can do another set of these. This thing's a bitch.
You should. You got 2 years in the making. Let's go.
This thing's a bitch. Let's go. See, that's what I need. I need a hype man in my gym.
Hey, sitting here doing all this talking. Let's go, man. Let's go.
I need a hype man. Oh shit. All right, guys. So let's see if I can't squeeze one out here again for you. It's hard, dude. It's hard. My biceps are already toast. Oh, that means wifey's home. My own wife, the one that's made fun of me the most on this show today. Because of this 90-pound curl. All right. And let me put a close-up so you guys can get the facial expressions, okay? I just want to see. Come on, bro. Come on. I'm going to make you try it again. Okay. All right, let's try one more of these. Why are you making fun of me? They said I got to check my pants, my drawers after. Oh, great. Thanks. Fine. Whatever. Hey, if that's how you guys do, then I don't want to be around you when you're doo-dooing. Damn. You guys are all associating that with a doo-doo. I don't even come to the toilet. That's how you poo-poo? Damn. Oh, Dex is an awesome hype person. He really is, right, Christian? Yeah, I love Dexter.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm going to have to be his bodyguard when we go anywhere now. I've noticed that. All right, let's try to get another one of these in. These are a bitch. Okay. These are a bitch. Please, that's hard. Oh, one more. Whew. All right. Damn. Go ahead, hip kip it a little bit, man. Just get one up. Just get one up for pride. You could use your hips a little bit. It's okay. Help yourself out.
Here's the thing. If I do another half, that's one.
That's it.
I already did.
You already did half? Yeah.
And I'll just do the other one.
How about, in a gym when you have a friend around, they do what's called a spotter.
Yeah. You ready?
Go. It is harder. It is harder than it looks, you guys. And so what's crazy is, and let me give you guys an idea. I'll give you guys an idea, okay? So what's crazy is I tried that. I thought you were going to laugh all the way through the rep. They said you're going to laugh it all the way up. That is hard to do. It is really hard to do. So it's a 95-pound curl, a 45-pound Olympic bar with 225s on each side. So it's 95-pound curl. And I saw something on social media a long time ago, and it said most men can't do it. Most men can't do one curl with that weight. And I thought, damn, I'm going to try that. So guys, a year and a half ago when I was fresh into my new working out, fresh into my new fitness kick, my muscles, my joints were so weak. And I remember I couldn't do one dip, like on the dip bars, because I had a shoulder problem. I couldn't do one dip. I'd go down and my shoulder would kind of give out and all that. I couldn't do one dip a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I couldn't do one dip. And certainly when I came out and tried to do the 90-pound curl then, I couldn't get it up without super hip casting it. I couldn't get it up. And now it's about a year and a half later, guys. I can do 3 or 4 sets of 15 dips in a row. And now you see I can pump out sets of like 7 or 8 curls with this 95-pound weight. So guys, just for motivation, in 1 year and a half time, maybe 2 years time, you can completely and drastically change where you're at now and where you want to be physically in that amount of time. So if you were willing to give it a year and a half or 2 years of consistency, change your diet a little bit and start lifting 5 days a week and start just getting on a regimen, make it a habit. And then, because Dexter's known me for how many years now? Years. 6, 7 years now. So,
No. I think she was pregnant.
yeah. So you've known me for 7 years, right? So Dexter saw my dad bod. Dexter saw my bad habits, my alcoholism, all that stuff, right? And so you guys can really switch it up quickly if you just concentrate on it, guys. So I had 0 muscles, not to say that I'm very muscular at this point either. I still have a long way to go, but definitely couldn't see any abs. I still got a lot of work to do here to lose the rest of this fat. But man, guys, I was pregnant. My own mom asked me if I was pregnant when I came to a family party. That's how bad it was. People were talking shit. So the dad bod, the beer belly, the lack of strength, the lack of energy, all of that was where I was at, guys, a year and a half ago. And not that I'm a fitness influencer and not that I'm the most jacked guy on the planet and I don't have all the tattoos and I'm not, all that stuff. But the point of the matter is, guys, I am just an advocate to say that no matter where you're starting from, however old you are, or whatever your physical condition is right now, within a year and a half's time, you can completely change it, whether you're male or female. 100%. And you don't need drugs and you don't need steroids. You don't need to shoot yourself with Ozempic and all this weird stuff, right? We don't need the Adderalls and the crack cocaines, folks. We just don't. You just don't. What you need is nature, and you need natural foods, you need natural energy, you need natural sleep, you need natural sunshine. You need to naturally get your body moving. We're designed to move, not to sit. So we've got the truckers that are sitting all the time. We've got the office workers that are sitting all the time. It's almost most jobs you're sitting all the time. And what happens with today's society, and we've discussed this before, right, Dexter? What happens with today's society, it's gotten worse and worse and worse over the years, is don't we lay in bed all night, lying down, and when we get out of bed, we get vertical for a second, for a few minutes, to walk over to the toilet to sit down. And then when we get up, we're vertical for a second to walk over to the chair to sit down to eat breakfast. Then we get up for a second to walk over to the car, and then we sit down in the car to drive. Then we get up for a second, and we walk over from our car to our office, and we sit in the office chair all damn day for 8 hours. We get up maybe to walk over to the water machine and sit back down again. When we get off of work, we get up from our chair, walk out to our car, sit down again, drive home only to get out of our car, get home, and then go inside to sit down again, and then to sit, and then to go to bed again. So guys, we do a lot of laying down and sitting down all goddamn day. That needs to change, yeah. Snacking. You're bored. You're bored. You're sitting. You're snacking. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly.
Yeah, that'll definitely change things.
That's funny. 1.5 decks. They said congratulations for 1.5. Yes, it is hard to do. How long, sir? Crack and weights do not mix well. How long, sir? When let's see. I'll call him. Cuckoo. Cuckoo Ruku FC W4H. That's a tough one, right? But what do you mean by how long, sir? How long what, sir? I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, all right, Dex. So here, you want to work out a little bit for real and stop messing around? We'll do these right here. This right here will get you burning, and it's nothing for weight, right, guys? So here we put on, what did I put on? Purples, 20 pounds. So here we go, guys. These are 20-pound dumbbells. These are power blocks. I like them because they're square and your hand goes in the middle. Nice and balanced weights. I love them. But these are only 20-pound weights, not heavy, right? But if we sit here with these weights on the sides and we do hammer curls, it means you don't turn your wrists at all or anything like that. All you're doing is just bringing the weight straight up like this and tapping your shoulder and bringing it back down. If you do hammer curls like this and you bust out like, say, 20 reps, you set them down for a minute or two, you do another 20 reps, set them down for a minute or two, do another 20 reps. Boy, it doesn't seem like a lot of weight, but let me tell you something. Your biceps will really get cooking. What do you mean by how long, sir? Cuckoo, what did you mean by how long? I don't know what your question was about. Oh, all right. Try those, Dex. That'll get you cooking. What kind of weights are they? They're called power blocks. They're adjustable dumbbell stack. So it looks like this. Oops. Here, Dex, bust out some of those. It's light, yeah?
I probably have this one lighter because of my tennis.
It's not lighter. They're the same weight.
And I would do it lighter on this side because of my tennis elbow.
Try to do a hammer curl with this one. See if it hurts.
Yeah, this one.
See if that one hurts.
I mean,
Does it hurt?
right now it won't hurt.
But it will?
Doing them. I'll be driving down the highway, and I'll be like, oh, damn it.
So we got to work through the pain. I got a bad shoulder injury. I tore my shoulder about 1.5 years ago, and I worked through it, and now it's strengthened again. So we got to get this guy to fix his tennis elbow. How do you fix it? You kick its ass. But these right here, it comes with this little stack, this little weight stack, and you can see that these little weights here are adding weight to that stack. So you just adjust them and pull out the handle and however much weight is on there. And they go from, I believe those power blocks go from 15 pounds to 45 pounds. Hey, doggy, how many pull-ups can I do? I don't know, 10, 12. Not many right now. I used to be able to bust out 40 pull-ups back in my day. I used to win powerlifting competitions back in the day. I was really fit, but I went on a 20-year hiatus of trying to be as unfit as possible. That was my problem, guys. I was a stud back when. I have powerlifting competitions, patches all down my Letterman's jacket. I was a stud athlete. How many can relate? Then maybe in your adult years you went off track, which I did. I went to the partying, the staying up late, the alcoholism, the drinking, you name it, as much as I could possibly be unhealthy. Unhealthy foods, overeating, undersleeping, all those things where I was at. So I went from being really, really fit, really, really active, multiple sport athlete, and all those good things. And I went to dad bod, alcohol, and bad. So how much weight did I lose? I've lost about 20 pounds or so. But it's not about the weight because muscle weighs more than fat. And so when you start to add muscle mass, you gain back weight, right? But you're trading. I'm trading away fat weight for muscle weight, right? So it's not necessarily my weight that's dropping because I'm not on a weight loss kick. I'm on a muscle building kick and trying to lose body fat at the same time. So I went from 190 pounds. I weighed 189 pounds, I think, at my heaviest. I'm only 5'7", guys. I'm a shorty. So 5'7" at 190 was horrible. So I now am about 168 pounds. I fluctuate between 168 and 172, depends. But I'm about 168 pounds this morning. And so I've lost, roughly 20 pounds of weight. But really, I think I've probably lost more like 25 or 30 pounds of fat. And I've probably added about 10 pounds or so of muscle. So, yeah, it's all good. Yeah, kind of stalled losing weight, but now I'm looking better. You think the muscle's increased? Absolutely, it will. And here's what I tell people, guys. In the first 90 days of consistency, you'll start to notice a difference. After about 6 full months of real consistency, other people will start noticing a difference. And after about a year and a half, you'll be a beast. You'll be totally different. Whatever it is your goal is, to lose weight or to become more muscular or whatever that is. But yeah, I've lost a lot of weight. You stalled losing weight, but you're looking better. That's the thing, guys. I mean, I'm not losing any weight now. I'm probably going to maintain 165 pounds now. But my thought process is I still have about 5 or 10 more. I still have about 5 or 10 more, I would assume, pounds of fat I got to lose. And when I drop that 10 pounds of fat and add another 10 pounds of muscle, those two things are going to make me look entirely different. So I'm at the end result of achieving what I wanted to achieve fitness-wise, which is when I get my six-pack to really show through, get my chest and shoulders and everything bigger, I'm going to be where I want to be, and I'm just going to have to just then maintain that. Thank you for a good job, bro. Yeah, it takes consistency. So that's why I do this, doggy. That's why I do this, man. So I'm going to come live 6:30 to 8 a.m. here every morning from my garage gym. We talk physical and financial fitness. So it's all about helping each other be as fit as we possibly can, getting our best shapes we possibly can be in, and also helping each other to understand how to get in the best financial shape we can possibly be in. So health is wealth, guys. Let's do our best. Let's get in our best shape for our families, for ourselves, and let's get in our best financial shape for ourselves and our families, okay? So hit the subscribe button. Go ahead and give me a like if you're enjoying the content. Give Dexter a congratulations for having the cojones to come here live in front of everybody and try that 90-pound curl. I'll give you a challenge. Go and find yourself a gym and get yourself an Olympic bar, put 2 25-pound weights on each side, try to see if you can do that curl. It's very difficult. Most men can't do it, and it's a good challenge for yourself anyway. So we really appreciate all of you guys. Hit the subscribe button, hit the little notification bell if you want to come live with me, because of course, whether I like it or not, whether I'm tired or not, whether I'm feeling it or not, I'm going to be here for you guys tomorrow morning, and we're going to chat it up. All right, y'all. Yep, power blocks are great, Desi, or Doggy, not Desi, Doggy. Dexter, 50 chance when you try, yes. All right, y'all. Well, listen, we're going to be back here tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. Pacific time. We'll hit up another workout and try to just keep it going, get our bodies moving tomorrow morning, and then we'll have another subject to talk about. But really what we want to come with is we want to come with questions. This is always an open Q&A where I really want to help people to understand more about how they can create financial freedom. I know people have questions about it. So come with those questions tomorrow. We'll talk about financial freedom. We'll talk about being in the best physical shape, financial shape we can be in. And guys, we will see you tomorrow bright and early. Ciao.